Hello friends, welcome to the second part of our Fullstack expense tracker application. And in this episode, we are going to do with our front end. Okay, so let me give you a quick overview of the app in case you didn't watch the first part. Okay, so this it, I made a little changes. I added social login or Google sign in, right? Okay, so validations work. You can create an account here using Google or email and password. Okay, so I have an account, so I'll continue with Google. Okay. Okay, so now here, there's the dashboard. Okay, you can go to transactions. And I don't have some transactions, so I think I'll push the date back. Okay, yes, and I have some transactions here. You can have an account. You can create an account by adding account. So I've added cash and debit. So let me add PayPal. An account number is generated, and I can put the default or initial amount. Okay, and here I can also transfer money. Okay, so transfer. I'm going to transfer from debit. Yeah. Yeah. To transferring to PayPal. Okay, I'm going to transfer 100 as well. Let me transfer 1,000. So you see. Okay, so now you can see it has increased. You can also add, right? So if I add another 100, you can see it has changed. Okay, great. And you can also do settings here. You can do settings. You can change, your details here, right? You can even change your country, and changing the country will also change the currency. Great. Okay, you can change light theme or dark theme. And if you used email and password, you can also change your password or come down. Because I'm using Google, there is no need to change password. Okay, you can also go to transactions, and you can see the transactions I just did are here. You can add transaction, from which account, right? And what is the name? Support, could we? Okay, then I can put the amount and add one more. Okay, just put it through and you see it will come here. Great. And as I told you, you can also export it. You can also export it to an Excel file. And I have the Excel file here. Okay, great. Dashboard, and the various details will be here. It's also fully responsive. Okay, so you can see it's fully responsive. Okay, great. So you click here, dashboard, transactions. Great, everything, it's mobile friendly. Accounts, great, as well as settings, great. And you can also have your profile, which will come to the settings or log out. You can also have dark theme like this. Great, so it's very nice. So we are using Postgres database. If you want MongoDB, check the link to the description. You'll find a main stack source code, and also the source code to this project will be, the link will be in the description. So you can find that of the Postgres as well as that of MongoDB. If you want MongoDB, the link will be in the description. Okay. Okay, so this is where we left off the other time. We created our backend, and in this episode, we are going to create the front end. We'll be using Vite. So if you haven't watched the first part, make sure you watch it. Okay, so I'll create a folder here. Front end, or okay, I'll just open my terminal and paste the command. All right, let me make it big. Press on enter. Okay, so as you proceed, I'll click yes. And the name of the project, I'll just give it front end. You can give any name of choice. I'll select React, use the arrow down key to select. We are just going to use JavaScript. Okay, so according to the command, we should cd into front end. So cd front end, right? And now run npm install. Okay, so if you check here, you can see that there are no node modules. So npm install or npm I to kind of install all the packages. So npm install. Okay, so yeah, I type npm. I type npm. It's supposed to be npm. So npm I should also work for you. Okay, so whilst it is creating, okay, so we just let's set up our app. So to kind of speed up the process, I'll just copy and paste my packages. Okay, so we created a front end dashboard, right? So I'll copy some of the codes from there. So make sure you watch the dashboard part. Okay. So I'll paste my packages. We use headless UI, Axios, the CLSX to combine classes, and file saver. You notice that you can download the expenses into Excel file. So we'll use that. And if we're able to integrate Google Sign-in, we'll use Firebase. Okay. And okay, so here we also use the Firebase hook for the sign-in. And here we use React hook form for validations, React icons, JSON to Excel, right? So that we can convert JSON files to Excel format, and also React router them for navigation, and Rechart for the chart. So now for the notification, right? And UID to generate account numbers, right? Okay, and the Excel here, as well as we use I don't remember if I use Zod, but let's see. And Zustand. Okay. So before we can also install all of this. Okay. So, okay. Great. So whilst it is installing, let's go to, okay, maybe I can just Tailwind CSS. Okay, .com. And I'll just search for Vite or Vite. Okay, so install Tailwind with Vite. Okay, so we need to create a project. We've done that. Navigate to the project. Now we need to install Tailwind as a dev dependency. Okay, so let's hang on a while. Okay, so I guess it has been installed. Yeah. Okay, so now let's paste this command and go back again. Okay, so we also need to initialize it. Okay, great. Also paste this and let's go back. Okay, so we need to replace the content with this. We go into the Tailwind config file. Okay, so tailwind.config.js. In the content, we'll put what we copied, this, right? Okay, so yes, it targets all the files, TS, JS, or JSX. Okay, so just copy this and put it inside the index.css file. Okay, so index.css. Okay, here. So possibly I can remove all of this and just put that one. Okay, great. And what next? Now we can run the app and test it. Okay, but before we run it, let's do some cleaning. Okay, so the app.js says here. Okay, so we can remove all of this and just put h1 that says hello. Okay, and let's start it and see if our classes are working, right? So we're going to say font dashboard and test dash 5 Excel. Okay, 5 Excel. We'll also not need the app.css, so we can remove it. And what again? Okay, so here we've removed all of this, so let's remove it. This also does not exist. Okay, so to remove all unused import, you can just click on Alt, Shift, and O to remove it. Okay, you press them at the same time. Okay, so I think we can start up our app and see. npm run dev, I believe. Okay, okay, great. So it's here. Okay, great. And I think our styles are also working perfectly. So if I change the color, so it's a test, let me give blue 500. I think it should change as well. Okay, great. Okay, so how do I get all of these classes? Now you can have these extensions. Just go to extensions and make sure you have Tailwind IntelliSense. Okay, you have this. That is when you can get the auto suggestions, as well as you see that when you hover over it, you're able to see the CSS classes. Great. So make sure you have that one. You can also have something like ES7. You can also have this install, right? It will help you to get some boilerplate codes, right? As well as others I may not be able to mention. Okay. So make sure you have these two, at least you have these two. Okay, great. So now let's set up our project, fast structures. Okay. So here we will need components. Components. Okay. We will also need the various pages, right? So we'll need pages. We'll need pages. Okay. We'll also need libs, or you can say also say utils in a one. Okay. And we'll also be using Zustand. So I'll just say store. Great. So now let's start from the various pages that we'll need. Okay. So inside the pages we'll have sign in and sign up, right? So I'll put them to one page. That will be like auth slash sign app.jsx. Okay, and I can just say RAFCE. Okay, great. So you can just create for me a function. This is as a result of you having installed ES7 plus, right? Great. When you install that one, you can just type this code to get started. Okay, I also create another one that is signin.jss and also RAFCE and say sign in. Okay, great. So inside the pages, we also have account page.jss, RAFCE, account page. Okay. So what again? We can have the dashboard.js, RAFCE, dashboard. Dashboard. Oh, okay. We also have settings page, settings.gss, REACE. Okay, so I guess these are the pages that we'll have. Okay, so if there be any other thing we'll need, I think we can add it as we go on. Okay, so let's quickly set up our navigations. So go into the main.jss, right inside the main here. Okay, so here we need to wrap our app around the browser router. So what we can say is browser router. Okay, and our app should go inside like this. And let's import it from, okay, React router DOM. Okay, great. If you don't wrap it like this, there is no way you can use the browser router. Okay, or I mean React router DOM. Okay, now let's go inside our app, and there we're going to have the various routes. Okay. Okay, so here we need to import a few things. So okay, so we will need to import these things from React. So we need to navigate, we need the outlet, route, and routes. Okay, so instead of returning this, we can return a main tag. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so here we are going to have the various routes, plural, right? And inside this, we'll have the various routes. Okay, so like I'll be giving a suggestion here. Okay, so now we are going to have public as well as private routes. Okay, so I'll remove this two. Okay, so this two here can be like sign in. Okay, can be a public route as well as sign up, a public route. So I will import the sign in component from here. Let's make sure we're exporting them. So here, sign in. Okay, I'll bring it here. Let me import sign in. Okay, great. Let me also import. Oh, I guess it's my fault. This is supposed to be capital. Also capital. Okay, great. Okay, and this also sign up. Import sign up from sign up. Okay, I don't know why the auto import is not working. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, and so this will be public route. So in order to have a private route, how can we do it? How we can do it, we can have routes, right? And inside this route, there will be the other routes. Okay, so great. So now we have one route, and inside this route, whenever we visit any element inside this route, right, we will have to pass it through. We'll have to pass it through a layout, right? Let's call it root layout. Okay, so we'll pass it through, and if the conditions are satisfied, then we can return the various endpoints in here. Okay. Okay, so we'll have a route with the element of here, the element will be navigate. Okay, so we have the navigate command. We have imported it up there already. Okay, so whenever we visit, sorry, whenever we visit a path, and what will be the path? The path will be /. Whenever we go to /, we want to redirect the user to So we want to redirect the user to overview, or you can say dashboard, anything. Okay, so whenever the user visits /, right, we want to redirect it to overview. Okay, and here the overview. Okay, so here, so we'll redirect the user to the overview, then we'll show the dashboard page, dashboard. I don't know why. Okay, so let me also import the dashboard from dashboard. Also import I guess it's settings from /pages. No, like pages / great settings. Okay, let's also import the account page from the same point. No. Okay, /account page. Great. Let's also import transactions. Now, I don't think this is transactions page. Just transactions. Great. Transactions. Okay. I want to believe each one of them will work. Okay, so here we'll return this, and then next we can just duplicate. Okay, so after overview or dashboard, we can have the transactions, which will show the transactions page. We can have settings. So all of this will be protected routes. We can duplicate it one more and say accounts, and this will go to accounts page. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I want to believe. So now let's create this root layout. Okay, so we can create it up here. Say cons root layout should be equal to a very simple. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, so I'm just gonna so here what we can do is first we need to get our user, which for now will be now. Okay, so if we can set our tokens. Okay, we'll come back to that later. So let's return if user does not exist, right? If user does not exist, we will navigate, great, to the sign-in page, right? Meaning the user has no account. So we need to return for the user to log in or sign in. Okay, so if the user exists, then our nav var will come here, which does not exist for now. Okay, then here we'll show the outlet. Okay, outlet. Great. Okay, so what we are saying is that if the user does not exist, we'll go back to the sign-in page, right, for the user to sign in. Here we can put replace to true. Okay, but if the user exists, then whatsoever page the user is visiting will show up here. Okay, I think by now it should be running. Okay, so and if you check up here, you can see we are in the sign up page. So let's try going to login page, and you see we still come back to sign in, and we can visit the sign up, right? But we can't go to any page. I think overview. You see, so this is how we can protect our app from the front end like this. Okay, so this is the setup. So in the next section, okay, I guess we can set up Zustand straight up from here. Okay. Okay, so let's also go into the store here and create index.js file. I'm just going to paste this. So we're importing Zustand from we are importing crate from Zustand. And what we do again is we are creating a store called use store. You can give it any name, right? So use store, we just want to say, so we know that, and we use the create, and there is a set function. Okay. So here we have a team variable, which will check from our local storage if we have it saved there. If we have it saved there, we'll use that. If not, we'll by default set it to light. We also have the user, which will check if the user is stored on our local storage. If not, it will also be null. And there are also a set function to set the theme, which will receive a value as a parameter or argument, and set the theme to the value that we'll receive. And there's also, you can also give it any name. Okay. And there's also another function, set function of set credentials, which will receive the user values and set the user here to that value, right? Okay. Okay, so because we have the same name, that's why we're doing like that. Else it could have been like user is to user, right? But because of the same name, that's why. Okay, they also have the sign out, or you can say log out. Log out, we don't need to receive any parameter or argument. We just set the user to null, and that's all. Okay, great. So we can go back here and now use our use store. Right. So here we can say use store, which is coming from our store, not from Zustand, right? Great. Here, and now here we'll receive the state. I can say state. Okay, and return the state. And in it, we'll receive, okay, for now, let's just say user and try to console log it for you to see the values that comes. Okay, so I'll go to the browser again, go to inspect elements. Okay, to the console, and I'll now try to visit the home page. Great. So now you can see that we have the values logged here. We have, everything. We have the team, and at this point, we only need the user. So to get the only user, we can destructure it like this, right? And if we go back, now you can see that the user is now. Okay, great. Great. So I think it will still work. Great. Okay, so it still works. Okay, so this is the setup. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next episode, we'll begin with our authentication pages. Thank you. Okay, so now let's talk about how we're going to do this page and this page. Okay, so let's start from sign up. Okay, so here I'll just go to sign up. Okay. Okay, so sign up here. But before then, let's go into the app.js here. Great, and let's just provide some few classes to this. Okay, so let's say we want the width to be full and a minimum height of screen, right? Also want pattern X of 6 and a BG of gray dash 100, and on MD we want the right, and on that theme we want the BG color of slate 900. Okay, great. That'll be all. And let's also go inside here and provide classes. Okay, so here also want the min height to be we need to calculate, right? So we're gonna calculate. You see, we've already taken the minimum height of full screen, right? And because we have a nav bar, we need to calculate and deduct the height of the nav bar from this one. Okay, so that's why we're using the calculate function. So height of screen, right? Great. Minus 100 pixels, which is for the nav bar. Okay, great. That's all. So now let's go into here, sign up page. Okay, so there are a few things I would like to bring on board, and one of them is I created some few components, right? So I was just kind of mimicking Chatcien, right? Okay, so I'll just bring them into this component. Great. Okay, so I have them here. So I have the bottom, I have the card, and I have the input. Okay, great. So if you've ever used CN, you know that yes, we are using this class to combine the classes, right? And we have the default, the outline, the ghost, and the link, as well as we have the various classes for sizes, right? So we'll pass all these props, and now we'll render the bottom here using this to combine the classes. Okay, and these are the default styles, and on the base on the variant that you selected, we'll render the appropriate classes from here. Okay, so then we'll put in the children. Okay, so same for the card, kind of similar, as well as the input, kind of similar as well as Shatsian. Okay, so nothing too complicated. Okay, now I also want to bring my schema. So here I'll just copy and paste the schema. So I have a register schema which uses Zord. So I'll just import it. Okay, so let me import or as Z from Zord. Okay, great. Okay, so that's it. Now in here, we'll also need to get the user, which is coming from our use store. Make sure you don't import it from Zustand, but rather from the store that we created. Okay, great. And let's also get a few things from use form hook. Use form. Okay. And use form, it's coming from import from React hook form. So now I think I can import this. Great. Okay, so inside it, we'll have something like the register. We'll have the handle submit. We can also have the error. Okay, great. In order to catch the form error. Okay, and inside this, we want to pass our resolver. Okay, then we'll pass. We need to get Zord resolver. Great. Then we'll pass our schema. Okay, so let's also import Zord resolver. npm I, then capital D, then Zord resolver. Okay, so it's here. Hook form resolver is here. Okay, so I think now I have it. Okay, so now we pass it here to check for all the validations. Okay, great. Let's also get the navigate hook. Navigate also should be use navigate from React Router DOM. Okay. We also need some state loading and set loading, which will be a use state hook. Okay. And okay. So we'll also need our on submit handler. Great. For now, we'll just let me just console log the data. That's all. And we also need to check if the user is already logged in and try to visit the sign up page. We want to redirect the user back to login. So in order to do that, we need a use state, which will have a dependency of the user. So every time the user changes, we'll fire that use effect. Okay, and we'll check if user exists, right? Then navigate. We'll use the navigate hook. Navigate. We navigate to homepage. Great. Okay, supposed to be 1. Great, like this. Okay. So now let us come here. Okay, so here all we need to is now to have a classes, right? We'll have it to be in flex, items to center, justify to center. We have a width of full and a mean height of also screen, then pattern top and bottom of 10. Okay, inside this now we'll import the card we took from. Okay, so this card component from here, I'm going to use it, right? Okay, so I'll just import card. Okay, let me bring it here. So I'm going to say import this from dot slash dot slash components slash UI slash card. Great. And I'll need the card. Okay. Okay, so here let's give classes to the card. Okay, so I'm gonna have a width of 400 pixels. Okay, 400 pixels, a BG of white, and on dark I want a BG to be black /20 for opacity, and I'll have shadow, not none, shadow of MD, and overflow also of hidden. Okay, great. Now inside this I'm gonna have one div. Now let's have styles. You gotta have pattern of 6, and on MD the pattern should be 8. So here I will put the card header. Great, which will have a style of py0. Great. And inside this I'll have the card title, and I'll put styles will also be MB of 8, test center. Okay, and on dark I want the test to be white. Okay, and the test will be just create account. Okay, great. So let's see. In order to make the dark theme work, this is what we can do. You just need to put this right. Okay, so I'm just going to replace my Tailwind config file. Okay, so I have all of these classes, right? Great. And I've added dark theme to also dark mode to class. Okay, so now if we go here, it should work, and it's here. Great. Great. So I'll leave all of this in the description for you to get it. So we're done with the header. Let's come here to the card content and give a class name of also p-0. Okay, card content. Okay, so inside it I'm going to have form with no action. Great. Now on submit, so on submit we're going to call the handle submit from React hook form, which is this one. Then we'll pass our own on submit function to it. Okay, great. So on submit, great, like this. Okay, let's also give a little bit of classes here. We just want to use space of y of 4. Great. So inside this we have a div with classes of MB 8 and space y of also 6. Okay, so inside it, I'll call my social social auth, right? Pass is loading. I'll pass is loading as loading. Then set loading also as set loading. Okay, great. So I'll just bring my social login. Okay, so I'll just put it inside this component because this will be the same on login or on sign up. Okay, so actually, okay, we'll look at it. Because if you remember from our backend, we did not implement accepting social logins, right? But I'll give you the trick so that you can implement it on your own. Okay, so one thing you can do is just go to Firebase, right? Firebase, and make sure you create a new project. Now, when you add a new project, make sure you add a web app. You install and you copy all your credentials. So if I go to like project settings, I should get all my credentials here, right? So, and make sure you enable authentication. Just enable authentication, and that's all. That's all you need. You copy it. So I can just copy my config file. I don't have to create a new one. Okay, so I'll just copy and paste my config file inside my libs. Okay, so there's it. Great. So just create a new Firebase project and install Firebase. It has already been installed, and just bring it up here. Okay, just import it. And we also installed React Firebase hook. Then we get in the auth, use auth. So we have states here. We get in the user from our store, and also we get in which provider is selected. And by default, we can also use GitHub, but I only used Google. So we set it to default user, and also the set credential here. Okay, so here we have the Google sign-in, and there is also GitHub. And the reason is GitHub was not returning the email address. That's why I didn't use GitHub. However, you can implement it if you want to accept that. Okay. So here, okay, so here we use the provider. We get the provider, which is imported up here from Firebase auth. Then we set the selected provider to Google. Then we use the sign in with pop-up, right? We pass the auth, which is coming from our Firebase config. Then we send the provider, right? Okay, so this will return us the user information. And here we want to save into the database. So we gather the information, right? So we gather the information from the display name, the email, and the selected provider, as well as the UID. Okay. Okay, so here we'll get the user information into the use auth state. So when the auth state changes, we'll get the user information here. And that is where we are extracting them here, right? And we set the loading to true. Then we make an API call to our backend to the auth slash slash sign in using Axios. Then we'll create this API endpoint soon. Okay, so I can just remove this. Great. And if the user exists, we bring a toast message and we set the user information into our store, then also the user into the local storage. Okay, great. Then we pass the information, and that's all. We just redirect the user to overview, and that's all. Okay, so here I commented the bottom, right? I can also uncomment it like this, but we're not going to use it. So okay, so that's why let me put our comment. Okay, great. So this is it. And here, if I put it here, and let's see if I can import it. Okay, so now let's check here. There is an error of API calls. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to copy my API calls. Okay, so I'll also go into the libs here and put this and put this there. Okay, what is in this API call? We're importing Axios from Axios, and we are pointing to our server, which is localhost, I think it's 5,000, right? /v1, this, and we are creating a base URL of this API. Okay, great. And in here, okay, and here we also want to set the token, right? So when we have a token, we'll set the token. Okay, so this set token, we can use it very simple. And now we export this API here. Okay, so with this set token, we can go here. Now here, we can just call set token, import it, then pass, I think user should have token. Okay, something like this. Okay, so if the user has a token, we'll pass it. Or we can say, yes, if this exists, else we can pass nothing. Okay, so if the user has a token, meaning the user is logged in and there's a token, we pass a token. If there is no token also, we just leave it to null or empty value. Okay, so let's also make sure we set up toast notification too in order to have it. So I'll import toaster from, yes, okay, and I'll pass rich values to be true, and position I want it to be top dash center, I believe. Okay, great. And I want to believe this is imported. Okay, great. Okay, this is also here. So inside our social sign-in, we can import our API API from libs. Let's make sure the path works correctly. Okay, this ought to be inside here. That is why the path is not working. Okay, so here, if I now go here, yes, okay, great. So now it works. Okay, great. So now let's see if it'll work. Okay, so now we have this here. So if I go and uncomment the GitHub, great. So if I uncomment it like this, I make sure import this icon, FA GitHub, GitHub from React icons, FA. Um, okay, so what might be the issue? It's FA GitHub, and this is also from oh, sorry, this is FC. Okay, so I need to import this from FA, and I believe it should work this time. Okay, okay, great. So like this. Okay, but I do not want to use GitHub, so okay, great. So we have it like this. So okay, let's continue. So we have our GitHub. Now there's also a separator. I'll just bring that one, front end, SRC, and in here I have a separator. Okay, so this separator, I just created a separator, that will have a line and the test here, right? Okay, so this is nothing very special. So below this, I'll bring the separator like this. And if you check, you see that there is this line. Okay, so this is the line. Okay. Okay. So now Let me also bring the input. Okay, so I have this input inside here. There is input. Okay, this input, and this is what I'm calling here. Okay, so let's make sure. Okay, great. So now let's provide the various props. We want it to be disabled when it is loading. Okay, great. I'm going to give an ID of also first name. Great. We can also give it a label of name. Okay, and name should also be first name. Okay, that's great. I don't know if even if we will need the name. Okay, let it be there. Okay, the type should be test. Okay, and the placeholder should be first name, or we can give example of John Doe or John Smith. Okay, okay, and on error, we want to check if the error dot first name exists, right? Then there should be a message in it. Okay, and in this register, right? I will not do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the register function. And when I spread it, I will put the name register and say the name as first name. Great. Something like this. Okay, so I am registering the bottom as first name. Great. And now we can also have some classes. Okay, we can pass extra classes here. Okay. So I'll see the test should be XM small. There should be a border, and on dark border should be gray dash 800. On dark BG should be transparent, and on dark place holder. If you intend not to use that theme, you can just forget about this. Test should be gray dash also 700, and also on dark the test should be gray dash 400. Let me break it down. And lastly, on dark, the outline should be none. Okay. Oh, it's errors. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so now we have this here, right? Okay, so I'll just copy and then paste the rest of the functions. Okay. Okay, so I copied two more. So I have another input also disabled, email, the label it's email, the type is email, placeholder. Your examples are there. Yes, on error. Also, they said we also spread the register function and also the same classes. Okay, here and also password. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Okay, so now we have this. Great. Okay, so now let's work on the bottom. Okay, so below this div, but still inside the form, we'll call our bottom. Okay, the bottom will have a type of submit. Also let's have some class names. That is width of full and BG of violet dash 800. Also to be disabled on loading. Great. And now the children will be that if loading is true, we'll call our loader, pass some class name to the loader, right? Okay. And if it is not loading, then we just show up a test that says create an account. Okay, so let's work on the loader. The loader will have test to Excel and a test color of white, and we'll do animate dash spin. Okay, great. So we're just gonna use a React hook icon from BI. It's not important, so I can just come here and say import this icon from React icons slash BI. Okay. Okay, let's see if we're making progress. Okay, so we have it here. Okay, so now the validations work, but the name is not working. Okay. Okay, so maybe I can just put here dot main, right? Okay, so the minimum should be at least one. Let me say 3 characters. Then I'll just say name is required. Let's go and see if it works that way. Okay, so now it works. Okay, so name is required. Okay, so now I guess we have all. So what is left? It's also the buttons to navigate to the various pages. Okay, so that one will go below the form, but still within the okay, yeah, okay, the last div to the card, and let's import the card footer. Okay, so let's give classes to the card footer. It will also be justified to center, right, and a gap of 2. Okay, so here I'll just copy and paste the links. Okay, so we have a test that says that already have an account. If so, we are importing link component from React router DOM, and the path is to sign in page, right? And we just sign in. Okay, great. So I guess we should be fine. Okay, this, and now this will take us back here. Okay, so now we can copy the whole of this, right? And just go to the sign in page and just sign in here, and just replace everything. Change this to sign in, and also here to sign in. Okay, for now I think it should be the same. If we go back, okay, no changes. Okay, so now let's begin to a different schema. Okay, we'll only need email and password, so I can remove name schema and just call it login schema. Okay, login schema. And okay, yes, great. Okay, so with the sign up, I guess we can change one thing. We can enforce that the password should be at least 8 characters. Great. But on signing, it is not needed because they already have the password. It's not needed to make a minimum of 8. Okay, here. I guess everything will stay same. So login schema. Okay, here. Also, okay, same. Here will be sign in. Okay, okay, so now we're getting some changes. Sign in. Everything else will stay same. We don't need name. We only need email and password. And instead of create account, we'll just say sign in. Okay. And instead of already have an account, says and here we'll go to sign up. That's right. Okay, so here also the validations work. Go here, we go here. Great. So how do we sign up? Okay, so let's go to the sign up page. Okay, so when user click to submit the data here, okay, let's put a try catch. And if an error occurs, we first want to console log the error, the full error. And I also want to use the toast from Sonar, right? Dot error. I will just say error dot response. I guess I can just copy and paste it. Okay, so like this, if the error exists, we'll just show the error like that. And finally, great, we'll set loading to false. Okay, so here, whether an error occurs or not, this finally block will still run. Okay, great. Okay, so here, now first let's set loading to true. Okay, when we set it to true, let's make a call to the backend. We're gonna have we'll need to destructure the data that comes, but we have another one here, data. So okay, let's rename this as response. Okay, great. Then let's use await, and this must be an async function. Await, then we await the API we created, import it dot. This is a post method. Okay, great. And now we need to pass our path, and the path is auth slash I think it's sign up. Yes, sign up. Then we'll pass the data. Okay, great. So we go to auth sign up, then auth and sign up. Okay, so if you go here, you can see the base URL is already here. That is why we are not putting the whole URL. Okay, great. So if the response has the user, okay, if it has the user, what we're going to do is give a toast.success. Okay, account created. You can log in, kind of. Okay, then we'll use we want to use a set timer. So let's use set time out. Okay, so this set timeout will run after some few seconds because we want the user to see the toast message. So after 1500 milliseconds, then it will just redirect the user to the login page. Oh no, it's supposed to be sign in page. Okay, great. So that is how we can sign up. Let's go and try. Okay, so create account, validations work. So I'll say test user, test at mts.com, and I'll put a password of 123456, and you can see it's not allowing, right? Okay, so I think in order to make it user friendly, if the password length is less than 8, right, we will not just say password is required. You can say password must be at least 8 characters. Great. So that the user will know, great, password must be at least 8 characters. So I'll put 123456 up to 8. And now I click on this. Great job. And now we have an error, which we can inspect and see. I guess I know where it is coming from because our backend is not running. Great. Here. So I'll bring it back, cd into backend, and just say npm start. Okay. Okay, so port 5000, and once again, double check port 5000. Okay, let's try again. And this time it goes through. Account created. Great. Okay, so now we are in the here. How do we also sign in? I guess we can just go here and copy the whole of this, right? And make changes. Great. So here we'll just put this inside here. Okay, so also same thing here will be the same thing. So the only thing that will change here is that now instead of we're going to change the route to sign in. So auth here will be sign in. We'll still pass the same data, right? Okay. And now here, if the user exists, we can also give the toast message, right? The isn't even comes with a, I think the response should even come with a message. Great. Yeah, let me put question mark if does not exist. Okay, also now let's gather the user info. User info should be equal to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the response.user, then I'll add the token as response.token. Okay, I'll just spread the user data and attach the token to the user so that whenever we get the user, it has the token in it. Okay. Also, let's set our user to the local storage by calling it user. Oh, my bad. User. And we'll just use JSON, stringify, then user. Great. Okay, so JSON, stringify, then user. Okay, that's right. There should be a question, comma here. So once we set the user to the storage, we can also get the set credentials function here. And then we can just say that set credentials, right, to the user information. Okay. And also after some few seconds, we'll go back to, let's go straight to the overview page. Okay, that's right. Okay, great. So let's go and test out, and I hope it should work. Okay, so the account was test@mts.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I do this, 8. Okay, so it's not going, nothing is happening. Okay, so here, okay, so nothing is happening here. Okay, let me import this. Great. And let me also import the toast, I believe. Great. Apart from that, what again will I have to import? I guess I don't have. Okay, so I have, okay, yes, I think I have for now. So if I click here, okay, great, and I get access dinner, RRS something something. I don't know what it's RRS means. Okay, so I check here, there are a lot of errors. Okay, so let's go back and look for RRS. Okay, so here, okay, so okay, response, so this, great. And now I'll try this again. Great. And now I am logged in to the overview page. Great. So if I go back to here, I'll still come back to the overview. And if I want to go back to sign in or sign up, I am redirected. Okay, so now in the next session, we'll continue with this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so in this dashboard part, we'll not waste much time, because if you check on YouTube, that was the first, we created that first video. So if I go to, okay, so yeah, this is the playlist, right? Build experience tracker dashboard. So we'll not waste much time here. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of copy and paste. Okay, so let's quickly fix the navigation bar. Okay, so I'll just copy the nav bar. Okay, so inside the component, I'll paste the nav bar. Okay, so we did this in the previous video, right? Okay, so I need to bring this transition component and even this switch. Okay, so here I'll paste the wrappers. Okay, so this wrappers have a dialog wrapper, right? And the transition wrapper. Okay, so in the transition wrapper, we are just using the transition from headless UI and the React fragment, right? Okay, so these things are keep being repeated. That's why I extracted into here, and I'll pass a child to it so that we don't have to repeat it. Okay, and this is also a dialog wrapper, right? So we're using the dialog from headless UI and transition as well as the transition child. So we'll pass everything in here, and we get so we'll pass the children here, right? Okay, so the dialog children will come here. Okay, so I also need to bring a switch, okay, inside the component. I mean, we did all of these things. Okay, so the switch will also come here. Great. Okay, so yes, we also have the store here. Okay, so now we can import this. I mean, we did all of this in the previous in the first part. Okay, so I can just go into the app here, and where here we will import the nav bar. Great. And let's see if we have the nav bar there. Okay, great. So we have the nav bar with the various pages. Great. And accounts. There seems to be a problem with accounts. Here it goes to accounts. Okay, so accounts, great, and settings, as well as theme. Okay, then we also have this. Great, right out of the box. Okay, so this is done. This is done. Navbar, switch, and this. Okay, so let's go into the dashboard. And in the dashboard, we will not waste much time, as I said. So I'll first copy and bring on some things here. Okay, so here in the dashboard, I am getting the URL, right? So sorry, I have first use states, which will hold the data values. Okay, so I have use states, so I have data and I have its loading, and I've also created a function, right? And the function is fetch dashboard stats, and we are using the base API we created, and we are passing this URL, right? Okay, so now when we get the data, we set the data here. If there be any error also, we console log it as well as show a toast notification. Now, if the error comes and the error is auth field, meaning authentication field, we just want to clear the user storage, remove the user from the local storage, and that's all. Okay, so on a use effect, we'll fire this, we'll set this and that. Okay, we'll fire this in order to get this information here. Okay, great. So now I'll bring this. So if its loading is true, we just want to use our loader, and let me go bring the loader. Okay, great. So I have a loader here, which is just a div, right, with flex, item center, justify center, and we have a spanner from React FA icons, right? Just setting it to the center. Okay, so we just import loading here. Great. Now, okay, if it's not loading, then now we need to have some classes for this. Okay, great. So let's check here. Not this page. Okay, so we get an error. Good. Let's check what is the error about. Let me remove this, reload, and we are getting an error of very long one. Okay, I think use effect does not exist. Let's import use effect. Okay, so now we have the loader, meaning it's working. Let's see, we have the loader. Great. So I guess the data is being returned. Okay. So now I'll just bring this first part. Okay, so here we have the info. Okay, so the info, we are passing the title as a component. We are passing the title. We are passing the subtitle also. Okay, so I'll go bring this info component. We did all of this in the first part. Okay, so I have the info component which accept the title and subtitle. It's a div, right? And we have each one to accept the title and a span tag for the subtitle. So I'll import this and also the start card and place it inside the component as well. Okay, so the start card, you also have the various icon style, right? And we accept the data. When we accept the data, we have the total balance, total income, and total expense. Okay, so the total balance, the data that will come will have the balance field. And yes, and this is the icon. It will also have the income and the expense. So we'll pass the various data here. Okay, and we're just using the card we created, right? The card we created, we're passing this, we get the title, the icon here based on the item. Then the various other informations also here. Then we get the various other information also here. So we get the label, right? Which will either be income, expense, or whatever. Then also the this will also be the label, right? And the amount here. And we are using this function to format it to the currency. Okay, so let me go bring the currency formatter. So I'll copy this function and put it inside the lib. Okay, great. So so whatever we get to a particular function, will come and exploit it. But now we are on the currency format currency, right? So the format currency is that first we'll get the user info from the local storage, right? And when we get it and the value you send, it's now, we'll just return invalid input. If the value is not null, then we'll convert it to a number value, right? So we are saying type of value. If it's string, then we pass it to a float. Else, if it's float already, then there is no need to do anything again. Okay, so we are using the international standard, right? So of number format, and we're using the US. So the currency star, the star will be currency, and the currency will be whatsoever country the user selected. We have the currency code. So user dot what code. Okay, so I guess we didn't even use this one, so we can remove this. Yes, we didn't use that code. Yeah. Else we fall back to a default of USD, right? Okay, and the minimum a fractional point should be after the dot should be 2 zeros. Then we just format it using this number here and we'll return it. Okay, great. So I will go here and make sure I import that function. Great. And also I import this card. Card. Okay. I believe, okay, they are all here. Great. So basically that's the card. And now, no, so this is the card item here, and we map over the data and return the item card. Okay, so let me also import this, the stats. And let's go and see if we are making progress. Okay, so, okay, let me reload. Okay, so great. So now we have the card with 000 balance because we don't have any balance. Okay, so this is the info card and these are the stats card. Okay, great. We're making progress. Okay, so now let's continue. So now that we have the start card and the info, let's move to the chart. Okay, so I'll just copy and paste the chart as well. Okay, so here we have a div and we have the chart, right? So we have the chart component, and also if the data.total income exists, then we want to also show a donut chart. If there is no total income, there is no need to show the donut chart. Okay, so I'll also bring the chart. Okay, so I'll paste these two charts. Great. So I have the chart itself, right? So we did this in the first part. So I guess I also need a title. So let me bring the title. So it will be great if you watch that first video to understand how we did all of these things. Okay, so I have a title. Okay, so the title is just a paragraph, right? To give a title to the chart. Okay, nothing special. Okay, so in here, so we have let me close this start, and this. Okay, so in here we have the chart, right? Which is this here. We also accept the data and we pass it using a reachart. We're using reachart. Okay, so reachart components, then we just pass everything. We call the title also here. Okay, so this is the chart we are calling in here. Okay, so here, great. And also we call the donut chart, which is also coming from this pie chart. I guess pie chart here. Great. Okay, so here, donut chart. Great. Okay. Okay, great. So we have this. Now we have the chart. And since we don't have the balance, you'll not be able to see the donut chart, which is this one. Okay, great. So once we put in information, you should be able to see that. Okay. And the last one should be this table, and this information here. So with that, I will also just copy. I'll just copy them like this. And below the div, I'll just put this, right? So we have the recent account as well as if the last accounts exist, the data exists, then we show the account, the various accounts. Okay, so I'll copy this and put it inside the component. Okay, so last transactions. So we are also using the these various inputs, import statements. Okay, we also have the currency, format currency and the title. Here we accept the data and we are using the link from React Router DOM and also the title that component we created. And we have table with the various headers, the other fields. They're listed here. Great. So it will be prudent if you can watch the first part. Okay. Okay. And I also copy the accounts. Okay. So I also copy the various accounts. Great. So this also uses. Yeah. So we also get great. Okay. So I guess we have a new function here. Okay. So this function also marks account numbers. It marks the account number. So it receives the account number. And if it's a type of string, we just convert it to, it's a string or it's less than 12. If it is not a string and it is not less than 12, right, then we'll return the account number. Else, what we have to do is first 4, right? So we take the first 4 numbers, right? Okay, using substring, then also the last 4, because we do not want to. Okay, let me show you what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, you see that we have the first 4 and also asterisk and the last 4. We don't want to show all the account numbers, right? Okay, so this is just a simple trick. Actually, I use ChatGPT to create this, right? So we get the first 4 and the last 4, and we just put asterisk inside. Then we just merge the first 4, the asterisk, and the last. Yes. Okay, so that's what we're doing in using that function, right? So these are the various icons. And this is the this is it also here. Okay, so I'll also import this component. Great. And our dashboard should be done if we do not have any error. Okay, so we do not have anything. Okay, so what we can do is, I guess we can start from creating the account first, or let's go first to the settings page. Okay, so let's see if our dark theme works. I'm not sure it does. Okay, so I realize the dark theme is not working. So let's quickly fix that before we move on. So go to your app page here, right? Okay, and let us get the state from our store, right? Okay, so you can say, okay, yes, state, then this, we close it, and I want to believe we've imported this already. Okay, now because we are using headless UI components, right? If we attach the state here, right? If we attach it, the headless UI component will not be affected. In order to do that, we need to attach the theme to the main body of the elements here, not this particular main tag. We need to attach it to the main, right? So we use effect. So make sure use effect is imported. Okay. We have a callback with a dependency, and the dependency will be the theme. So whenever the theme changes, we'll fire this action again. Okay, so if then we'll check that if theme is equal to dark, right? If it's equal to dark, then we are going to say that document. Okay, so document no, let's say body. Okay, so the document dot body dot classless dot add, then we add dark to it, else, right, meaning it's white. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to remove, yes, we don't have to we don't have to add light, we're just going to remove the dark, right? Great. Okay, so let's check, and now you can see it works perfectly. So if I do this, then the dark class will be removed. If I click, now it has been added, removed, and add, remove. Okay, so now let's go to the settings page. Okay, so now let's come to this settings page. So we're going to have this session for our information, and this session to also change our password. Okay, so settings page. Okay, so let me close most of these things. Close others. Okay, bring this down and go to settings page. Okay, so in here we will also need to get the user. So I think we have it up here. So I'll just copy this and bring it here and import user from our store. Okay, so now let's begin. Okay, so in here, let's give some classes. We'll have it being flex. It should be flex call and items to center, as well as width of full. Okay, so let's have another div inside with class width of full, the max width to be 4XL. The px pattern x should be 4, pattern y also of 4, and margin top and bottom of 6. Great. We want a shadow of LG, and the BG should be gray 50. 50. Great. And on dark, it should be BG slate. Sorry, it should be black /20/20. Great. On MD, we want a PX of 10, and on MD, MY of also 10. Okay, great. Now let's have one div which will take the title. Okay, this inside this. Okay, so here then we have our title. Title, great, with the title equal to general settings. Okay, so we can give some classes to this. We want pattern top of 6. We want a border bottom of 2, and the border should be gray 200. Okay, and dark border dash gray 800. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we have it this way and here. Okay, great. So now let's come down and let's have one div here, and let's give some padding, that is top and bottom of 10. Inside it, let's have a paragraph that will say profile information. Okay, we want to style it. We want a text to be LG, font of bold, text of black, and on dark, text to be white. Okay. So now let's have one div. And inside this div, we have a class of flex, item center, a gap of 4, and margin y of also 8. Gap, good. Then we have another div, and inside that div we have a paragraph tag, and this paragraph tag will take the user, the first name. They will only want to get the first character, so character at the index of 0. Great. So if we check, we should have the first character. Okay, so here is the index, right? If we change it to 1, it will be the second character. Okay, so we can give some class here. We can say it should be flex, item to center, justify to center. Or give a width of 12, a height of also 12. The text should be white. Okay, it should be rounded, full. The cursor should be pointer, a BG of violet, 600 or 500. Okay, great. Then now, I think, let's see if it does work. Okay, great. Now we can make the text a bit bold. So let me just add it to your font dash bold. And we can even give the text of 2 Excel. Let's see. Okay, great. So you can give whatever size you prefer. Okay. Okay, so it's good. Good. Okay, great. Okay, so now I also want to have the actual name. So after this, I'll just bring this, right, where I have a paragraph with font of X2. Yes, 2 semi-bold and the text black and this, and I'm rendering the name itself. So if I go, great, I'll have it like this. Great, great. Okay, so now let's have this form, right? Okay, so we're going to go down here. Okay, so make sure you left with 3 divs down. And we're going to have the settings form here. Let me comment it first. Then below it, we'll also have that if the user account is not, right, user dot provider is equal to they'll have to change password. Yeah. So what we are saying that if the user provider does not exist, right? If it exists, meaning it's a Google sign-in or any other social sign-in, right? If it does not exist, means that we use password, then we can render that form. Okay, so let's go into components. Okay, SRC. Okay, if I go into components here, I can have settings-form.jxs RAFCE. Okay, so settings form. Great. So let me make sure I import it here. Great. Okay, so in the settings form, what we're going to have there, first we'll need the user. Okay, since we've done some of the forms, so we'll need to get the user info from our store, right? We'll also need to get the hook form, and it's the resolvers, right? Okay, so I'll also import them here. So I'm importing register, handle submit, and the form error, all using the use form from React hook form, right? And I also have this, the country selected. Okay, so let me import the use state from React. The country that the user has selected, we'll first check if the user information contains that, right? If it does not, we'll pass now. Okay, great. And here we have the query and set query. We also have countries data, right? We want to fetch all the countries data and pass it to this. And here we also have loading and set loading. Okay, so here we can also create the onSubmit submit function, which will be an async function. We'll get the values and this. Okay, so we'll come back to it. Okay, and here if you also check from here, you can see that we can toggle our settings from here. I mean the theme. So that one I also just bring it since it's a simple function. Okay, so that one here we'll also just set using the set theme, right, and just change it. And because we have the use state here, whenever there is change here, it will be, I mean, it will change accordingly, right? Great. Okay, so we'll use this. Okay. So okay, I just want to bring the country's component, right? So I'll just paste this one here and let's go over it. I know it's a lot, but let's try to go over it. Okay. So in the country's data here, we are creating a component, right, which returns this this GSX. Okay, and we are using a combo box from headless. So make sure you import the combo box from headless UI here. Okay, great. Now, and I'm passing the selected country to it, right? The default selected country. And I'm also passing the set function to it. Okay, so now I have the combo box input also from headless, right? With the style of this. Okay, so let's go to index.css. Index.css and have some styles. Okay, so index.css. Okay, so I want to paste these styles. Now these styles will just be repeated, right? You know, they are for the various borders and yes, test colors, you know, of for the input, because it will be repeated. I don't want to keep repeating them. That's why I'm setting it here. Okay. So if you have a lot of repetitive classes, right, which is used in many places, you can use this format and just be calling it by the name. So I'll just put this name here, right? And that's what's here. Okay. And the display value will be the country, right? The country. Okay. Because the country has an object which has the country code, the currency, and the name. And the name itself is a country. Okay. So we'll have the country here. Okay. And also when we click on change, we just use the set query and get the target value and get the value itself. Okay. And we have the combo button also from there. And inside the combo button, we have an icon, which it's from React icon BS. Okay, great. Now, this is the drop down itself where we are using the transition. Also from headless UI, React fragment, make sure you import from there. And we are setting the after leave filter, right, to the set query, which is now here. Okay. So now we have the combo box options, which will have the various options, right? Okay, which will have the various options. So, I mean, actually, I copied this from the headless UI component too. So now we have the filtered list, right? If the user will have a filtered list to get all the countries, so I will just copy and paste that one. Okay, so I will. Okay, so when we have the filtered list, right? If the filtered list is equal to now, then the query should be nothing. Sorry, the filtered list is equal to 0 and the query is also now, then we just say that nothing found, right? We don't have any country like that. Okay, but if it does not and we have a filtered list, then we map over them, right? Okay, so we'll map over them using this. Make sure you import. We get each country name and the index, the country name plus the index, right, as the key. We are getting the country here, the country, then its index. Okay, so the active here, I don't think, okay, don't worry. So now we having these classes, then the value itself will be the country, right? That's the name of the country. And here it's what we actually rendering, right? We have an image tag where we render the country flag. Now the country comes with its flag. So we'll render the flag, we'll pass the SRC here and the name as the auth tag and the classes. Okay. And if it is selected, it will give a different, font style and background, right? Great. So this is what we have here. Let me also make sure I import this from, yeah. Okay. So this will be the combo for the countries. Okay, great. So let me bring the the filtered list. Okay, so now here I pasted this three, this thing. Okay, this three. Now first we have the function to fetch all countries, right? So we'll have this fetch countries data, which will fetch all the countries and pass it here. They will pass it to the use state we created above, set countries data, right? Set countries data. When we set the countries data, then we'll filter it. So this will be the filter function, right? So the filter function will filter, will check if the query is null, then it will return all the country data. But if there is a query here, right, like we try to search a country, okay, so it will filter it on the basis of the parameter, compare it to the name, and we want to omit all case sensitivity, right? Great. So this is pretty simple. Now, how do we get that country data? Okay, so I believe in the libs folder here. Okay, this index, there is fetch country. Okay, great. Let's see if I have it here. Okay, great. So now when you go to this endpoint, right, you will get countries, all the countries information. That is https:// res countries, great, rescountries.com/v1.1/all to get all the countries. And I format it to JSON. And if the response is okay, right, the status is okay, I just map over it. It has other parameters. I map over it and I get the currency. So if the country has a currency, I get it. If not, I just pass an empty object. I get a country code also. The country code is embedded in the currencies. I get a country code, then I format the object and return the country as the country name.common, right? That's the common name. Or now I also return the flag and the currency. Okay, so you can console log this information and return any information that you want to return, right? Okay, so I return all of this information, and here I do sorting. I just compare, right? Compare the list and just sort them alphabetically, right? By the country name. I just want to sort it so that we have it will be in that kind of order, because sorted information, it's easy to navigate. Okay, great. So this is the information we are fetching countries. So I'll just import this function. Okay, great. So now let's continue. Okay. So here I will. Okay, so in this return here, great. So I'm going to change this to a form. Since it's a form, it's going to be a form so that we can use the onSubmit. So onSubmit, we'll call the handle submit from the use form, React use form. Then we'll pass our onSubmit form function to it. That is this. The function is up here. Great, this function. Great, we'll pass it to it. And let's give a little bit of classes. We just want space of y of 5. Okay. Inside this, I'll paste this one. So I have a div with flex column, MD, it should be flex row, item center justifies between, and gap of 4. Okay, so we have used the input again and again, so I'm not going to waste much time on the input. I'll just copy and paste the input. Okay, great. So I have this input. The name is input. Great. Okay, so the name is input, and this will be first name. The label will be first name, placeholder. You can put anything there. And here we're using the register function, we're registering it. And if it does not exist, we say first name, it's required. And if there be any error, we'll pass the error. Okay, we've used this again and again. So we can save this and go and check to see. Okay, I think we have a little problem. Okay, let me reload and see. Okay, so the problem is that use effect. I don't think I imported the use effect from here. Great. Okay, let's go and see. Okay, so now we have the use effect here and it works. Okay, so now we have this information. Great. So like we want to have. Okay, so we have here and this one. Okay, and I think this one takes full. So let's go and see something. I think let's pass some classes here and save that width does full. And let me also pass same to this one. And let's see. Okay. With full. Okay, let me also make this with fluency. Okay, so what I needed to do is just to wrap it in a div, right? Put each one in its container. I think the with full here it's not working, wasn't working. So I decided to put the input into its own div, right? Okay, so I have this div which is flex, flex row, and on medium, column, and on medium will be row, right? And I place the each component in its own div, right? Okay, so this will be first name. First name. Okay. So first name. Okay, and here will be last name, I believe. So last name, and last name. Okay. So I believe because we have these classes are being repeated, right? So let's try if we can put it into its own something like this, right? So I would say input star. I don't know. This one is different. I don't know if they are the same, but let me. Okay, so let me say input star. Okay, so apply. Then I'll put that one here. Okay. Okay, so this is input styles and this is input star. I don't know the difference. I'll check later. But for now, in the meantime, let me put this one. Great. And let me see if it works as expected. Great, the same thing. Dark, yes, it works. Okay. So I think now I can just duplicate them or copy and paste the others. So so now I have email and phone. Okay, great. So let's copy it again. So I'll copy the whole of this, right? I'll just duplicate it and change this. This one will be, let me select all instances, email, and let me also select all. No, not the first one. Okay. Okay, this will be phone, I believe, phone. Let's make it contact. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have here and here. Great. So the next one is okay, so we have the combo box, right? Okay. So with that, I'll just copy and paste it below this one. Okay, I'll put this. Okay, so I have a div also here, which renders the countries, right, which we have up there. And there is also a list, yeah, a select for currency, right? However, it will only have one option, which will be the currency that the user selected based on the country. Here. Okay, so let's see. Great. It's here. Oh, okay. So I believe. Okay, so this one has the star of input styles, and this one input star. Let me change it to input style and see instead of input styles. Okay. I guess let me maintain that one for now. Okay. Okay, great. So we have the countries. Now let's have this down part here. Okay. Okay. So now below here, I'll just paste this. Now this is a div of full width flex item center justify center with padding top of 10, and inside it we have another div, right? And this div will have a paragraph and a span tag. Okay, so the paragraph, it's for the appearance, and the span tag is customized. Just put any text there. And here we have a select tag, right? To select the theme that you want. There are two options, dark and light. Okay, and when you select it, it will toggle the theme by passing the value to it, right? Okay, so we can check. So now we have this here. If I change it, the theme will be toggled, right? Beautiful. Okay, great. And the next one will be okay, down here will be this one. We'll also have another div, and this div also have divs inside, which is for the language. I mean, this yes, it only support one language, so there's only English, right? Yes, we did not implement any other language. So you can take it further and implement languages. Then we'll also have the bottom. Okay, so I'll place the last one, which will be this div, which has two bottoms. So make sure it's imported. Okay, the bottom is imported with a variance of outline. Loading, we want to, and the type is reset, right? And the text is reset, and also this for to save it. So if I save it and go back, okay, so I have this reset and save here. Okay, great. So okay, that's fine. So the bottom type is submit. Okay, so and on submit we will do this. Okay, no, why is it? Okay, great. So we have our on submit function here. Great. Okay, so let's work on the on submit. So if the user click on submit, I'll just what we're going to do is just going to save all the information, and we have done this again and again, so you are aware of it, how we do it. So I'm just going to copy and paste it, then we go over it. So when we click on the on submit, we are going to set the loading to true, and we form a new data, right, by using spreading the old data and attaching the countries to it, right? We spread data. Okay, let's spread the values. Great, which is this one. We spread the values and attach the countries to it, because the countries will go into the selected country here, right? So it will not be part of the use form values that we are getting. So we attach this. Then now we go into use our API, right, which is a put request. We go to users, then / the ID, and pass the data. And if the user exists, means that we have it back. Then we just pass spread our user, get the old token. We don't have to create a new token. Get the old token that we have from the user here, and attach it to the new user information. We set the information to the local storage again. Then we bring a toast message that the information has been updated. Okay, so that's pretty simple. We can try it and see. Okay. Okay. So route not found. Route not found. Okay. I don't know, but let's try it and see. I want to believe we have the endpoint. So we can go back to our backend, go to the routes, and go to the index here. So we have user, and in the user route, we have // okay, so the put request, it does not accept the ID. Okay, great. So we can remove the ID from here. Great. So let's try and see if we can update it. So I'll put the name here, code wave test. Okay, phone number, I'll put anything here, and I'll select country. I selected any country. Okay, and just press on save. Okay, so it has been saved. Okay, so maybe we can do it like this. So in here, okay, so if loading is true, right, we'll have a loader, right? So we can say bi loader. I think there is a loader like that. Great. Else, then we show the test loading. Great. So this, let's give some class. Sorry. It will animate spin, and the test should be white. Okay. I think that's all. Let's go and see. Test new, and let's see. Okay, so yes, loading, great. Now let's talk about how we can change the information. Let's see if the information persists. Great, it's still there. Okay. Okay, so now we are done with this. Let's go here. Great. Verse 1, how we can have this. Okay, so inside the same component, we'll create change password.jsx, RAFC, change password. Great. Import from here. Great. Okay, so that one, it's going to be simple. So if you check here, right, we are just going to have 3 input fields, which is pretty simple. Okay. So with that one, you know how we created forms. Okay. So I am just going to bring this. Okay. So in here, I'll bring this. Okay. So we are getting these values from the use form again, React hook form, import it, and also a use state for loading and, set loading. And here also, we have submit handler, right, which gets the data, right, and we just use this to change the password. And let's check our routes. Change password. Okay, I think it's same. So change password, and if it's successful, we give a toast notification, right? Okay, you are aware of this drill. Okay. So in here, we are also going to have a form. Okay, so let me use this div and just give some padding top of 20, right? And inside this, I'll have a form which will use the onSubmit. And onSubmit, I'll call the handle submit and call the and pass our function of submit handler, submit password handler to it. Okay, great. Now inside we will have these inputs. Okay, so first we have a div and there is a text of change password and also a description. Let's also use the input field that we have. Okay, here we can also do disabled when it is loading. Okay, great. We have a placeholder. Okay, so yes, so we have it this way, and also this one. So we can also bring this also here. Okay, and the same for here. So we have so this will be the current password, this will be the new password, and you confirm the new password. Okay, great. So yes, pretty simple. Okay, and below it we also need to have the bottom. So I guess I can just go and copy from what we have down here. Okay, I can copy this and bring it here. So below this, but still inside the form. Okay, I can put this, import the button. Okay, great. And make sure you import the icon also. Okay, so when you look down here, so now we have this, and that. And I think we will need a bit of spacing between them. So I can say space y of 6, and let's see. Great. So here 1, 2, and 3. I think it wasn't applied where. Okay. Oh, okay. So let me also give padding top here, some margin top of 10. That's the work. Okay, this goes. So let's level with this one. So here space y. The space y, it's not working. Okay, great. I need to apply it here instead. Okay, let me apply it to this, the div that encapsulates the various inputs. Okay, great. So okay, so this one, I think the validations were not working. So let's see. Okay, so here we're using the error if it exists. So let's go and check this one. The validations were not working. I'm not sure it was working. Okay, so let's see. Okay, error if it exists. How are we doing it here? Okay, so let me just copy one and bring it where here. This is contact. So I'll get this and this contact if it exists. So let me go try it. So now I remove contact and see this. I still did not work. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, register. Oh, okay, okay. We did not make them required fields here. Yes, that's why. That's why. Okay, we can make them required field like by giving a message, right? So if you see from here, you see that if it's required, right? So we can give it, we can make it required by giving something like this and saying required. Great. Then the message that contact is required. Great. So if I go and I don't have contact and I try to, you can see now this is required. Okay, so you can do it like that. So I'll just put in a number there and change the password and see. Sorry, update that. Here, I don't remember my old password. Let me try. Okay, and a new one. I'm just gonna put any random numbers. I'm not sure. Current password is required. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We are here. Okay, so this submit. Okay, save. Or I can just say change password. Change password, which is a submit. Okay. Great. So on submit, we are calling this function, which is here. Okay, so let me try to console log the data and see if it's working. Because if I data, okay, because I have not seen it submit when I click on that. Okay, so let me reload. Okay. Okay, so if I put values, click on this. So new password is required. This is also required. Then something must be wrong, meaning we are not even getting the values. Okay, so if I check from here, the console, the values are not getting logged. Okay, receive false. Okay, so let's find out why I made this mistake here. I need to spread the register. Okay, so spread the register here. Great. I need to spread the register function. Great. Okay, so let's go see. So if I put values and place, send. Okay, so now I think, yes, saying that the values does not match. Okay, great. So if I put, okay, so I think now it matches. It's loading, and okay, invalid current password, yes, which I believe it's true. So I'll put the correct one and see. Okay, and let's see. Great. So now password has been changed. So I'm going to log out and try to log in again with my old password. And see. Okay, and let's see if it goes through. No, wrong. Okay, that's great. So meaning it's working perfectly as it ought. Great, and the new password works. Okay, and you see the currency has also been changed. I don't know which country we chose, but it has been changed. Okay, so now our settings page is also done. Oh, okay, we need to apply the styles, right? Okay, so we need to apply the styles to them. Okay, so class name, I'll put this one here. I'll put this one also here, and I'll put this one also here. And let's see. Great, great, great job. Okay, so now let's go to account. Okay, so now let's move to the accounts page. So let's see what we're going to do. This is the account page. Okay. Oh, no account. Okay, so we should be able to create accounts like this. I think I logged in into a different account and put initial deposit kind of, right? Yes. We just want to use this to improve our UI skills and also our CRUD operation skills, right? Okay. So we should be able to create an account. And if we have accounts, also this, we show them like this. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. So let's, great, move on. So I'm going to close all of them except this. Okay. Okay. So accounts. Great. So we go move to accounts page here. Okay. There are a few things I want to bring, right? Those are various use states, which I don't have to type them again and again. So here we are getting the user from our state, which I need to import from our store. And we have it opened, right? You know, to check the dialog. And we have another one for the is top up open, right? So the top up dialog also has its own state. Okay. Then we have also transferring money. So there are a lot of pop-ups here. So this, we have also the selected account, the data, and the is loading. Okay, great. So I'll make sure I import on this. And I also want to bring the various icons. Okay, so there is a crypto icon, there is a Visa card icon, cash icon, as well as paper icon. So let me make sure I import them. Okay, so based on which type of account, right? I told you, then we'll select the icon. You know, for now we are only restricted to having only 4 icons. Okay. Okay, so let me also bring the information to fetch icons. Okay, so here we want to fetch all the fetch all the accounts. So we'll go to it's a get route. So we'll bring our API and just go to /accounts, right? If you remember from our back end. And if it exists, we set them to the data, right? If an error occurs, also we bring the error here. Okay, great. And in our use state, we are calling the set loading and fetch all the account that exists. Okay, so when we are fetching, right, loading will be true. So when the loading is true, we'll return, I think we have a low, is it a loading or a loader? One of them. I don't remember, but I think it's one of them. There is a component, a loading component, loading component here. Great. This. So let's bring this. Let's. So let's. I don't know why, but okay. If it's imported, oh, okay, it's already here. Great. So if it's loading, we need to show that. Okay, so now you can see it's here, right? Okay. Okay, so when there is no great. Okay, so when the loading is done, we need to show the various accounts that we have, right? Okay, so let's bring this. Sorry, let me first make this as a fragment, right? So that we'll put the various pop-ups or dialogues later in there. Okay, so class name. This is going to be width of full and PY of 10. Okay, so inside it we'll have another div which will have the title, and I believe you are aware the way we have been doing the title, so I'll just copy and paste it here. Okay, so we have this div, right, with flex, item center, justify center. Then we have the title, which says account information. And we also want to show a bottom to the right. Yes, to the right. So we have a bottom, and the bottom will set is open to true, right? And these are the stars of the bottom. Okay, and we have the add icon. So I'll import this, and also a test says add. Okay, so loading. Oh, okay. The issue is from here. So when it's, I think the name is loading. Okay, so when it's loading is true. Great. So we have account information and the bottom here. Okay. Okay, great. So here, this part is done. This part. Okay, so below it, let's see if data dot, right, the length. Now, if the length it's equal to 0, right, we'll have a message, and the message will be that no account information found, right? Great. So we have a div. Then with the span tag that says no account information found. However, if the account information exists, right, then we come to this side of the div, right? Okay, so we can turn this to a div with a class name, of flexful, and we're going to use grid, and grid calls dash 1. So on small screens, the grid columns will be 1, right? On medium, grid columns will be 3, from 3. Okay, great. And on 2XL, we'll have grid columns of 4. Okay, and pattern Y of 10, great, and a gap of 6. Great. Okay, so you can format the columns according to your preference. Okay, now let's map over the data. Great, so we'll receive each account an index, right? Great, then we'll save this and instantly return a div. Great, like this. Great, so the parenthesis needs to be 2 here. Map, one needs to come down here. Okay, it ought to be like this. Great. So here, let's give a key, and the key will be the index that we are extracting. Great. And inside here, we'll have another div. Okay, but before then, let's give some classes to this one. Okay. So this one will also be width of full. The height will be 48. It should be flex. A gap of 4, and a BG of gray dash 50. On dark, it should be slate dash 800. Great. A pattern of 3, and rounded, and also shadow. Oh, my bad. Shadow. Okay, great. Now this div will also have its own class. So inside this div, we are going to have our icon. So we'll call the icons, which is up there, icons, right? And we'll pass the account, right? Account name. Okay, account dash name. Okay, we'll pass the account name, and we'll make sure that it goes as a lowercase. Okay. Great. It goes as a lowercase, right? To avoid we're not getting the icon because the names here are in lower cases, right? Okay. And now I don't think we'll see any information. Oh, okay, we have one card. We have one card. Okay, yeah, the reason we have one card is that on render, you can only create one Postgres database. So the finished one as well as the one we are working on now are using the same database. That's why we have one card, even though we haven't created an account here, but we still have one here. Okay, great. So don't be surprised. Okay. Now when we have the icon, now we have another div, and this div will also have classes, and the class will be space of y of 2 with a width of full. Okay. In it, we'll have another div, which will also have another div. Okay, so there are a lot of divs in here, and this div will house a paragraph tag which will bring the account underscore name. Okay, so now let's start the first div. So the first div will be flex items, flex item to center, and also justify to between. The second one inside will also be flex and item of center. Okay, let's check this one. This one will also be classes will be text of black normally, and on dark the text will be dash white. The text size should be 2XL with a font of bold. Okay, great. Okay, so we have it here. Okay. Now after that, we want to have two things inside it again. So I'll just copy them. Below the paragraph tag, we'll have these two. This is an icon, great, and this is an account menu, which we'll create shortly. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me remove this first. For now, I don't know if I. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now we have it here like this, right? Great. So we are going to create this icon menu. Okay. So I'll just copy, paste it then. We'll work on it. Okay. So this icon menu, I'll just bring it into the component here. Okay, great. So we are using the headless again, right? We are using the menu button, menu item, and menu items, as well as we're using icons. Okay, all these are icons. And now we're importing our wrapper, right? Our transition wrapper, which is here. Okay, great. And so this menu icon will accept add money and also transfer money. Okay, it will accept these two arguments. So we're using this, and there's an icon, right? We'll wrap it in a transition wrapper. Then there is, okay, transfer money, right? Which will accept this function, right? On the click function, and also another one, which is for this one. Okay, I don't think we're even using this active, so we can remove it. Okay, great. So it's a very simple menu thing from that I copied. Okay, so let's make sure it's here. Okay, so we have the menu here. So when we click on it, great. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so beneath the menu card, right? Beneath the menu card, one div down, we need to have a span tag. So I'll just break these two of them. We have it like this, and this span tag and a paragraph tag. This span tag will render the account number, and this will render the account, the created at date, right? The created at date. Okay, great. And we are just formatting it. This is just to properly format the date. Okay. So, okay, I want to believe our app has crashed. Account. Oh, okay. I need to import the max account number. Okay. I believe you remember that function of function. Great. So we have the account number here and the date it was created at. Okay, just as we have here. So now we have these two, okay, which should be very simple. Okay. Okay, So below this paragraph tag, we're going to render the another div which will have a paragraph and a button, right? The button is to add the account, and this is to also show the amount, right? So I import the format currency. And these two functions, I'm not sure they exist, right? So when the user click on add money, we need to handle this function. And when the user also click on transfer money, right? But for now, I'm coming. It should, I don't know, it should work. Okay, so now we have the amount here, right? And these two. Okay, if I click on this, I think we'll get an error because the function does not exist. However, let's go and create it. Okay. Okay, so the two functions are cons. Why not just okay? Okay, so I have these two functions, right? Handle open add money, which will set the selected account, right, to the account ID because we'll receive the information here, and we'll set its open top up to true. And when we also want to transfer money, we'll also do same, get the account information and set its open transfer to also true. Okay, so now let's work on the various dialogues. I will just want to bring them, then we'll work on them one after the other. Okay, so below all of this, so I can toggle it here. Great. Below all of this, right? So we're going to have three of them, right? Add account, add money, and transfer money. None of them exist for now, so I'm going to comment all of them. Then we'll begin from add account. Okay, so with the add account, I'll go into here and add dash account.js RAFC add account. Okay, so I think I can now import it. Okay, by importing this from add account. Okay, so add account here, there will be 4 types of account. You can add as many as you want. Okay, and this function will also accept that it's open. It will also accept set is open. There's also going to be the refetch function. Okay, so that whenever we add an account, we just call the refetch to fetch the data again. Okay, and I'm going to bring some state variables. Okay, so here I'll also bring the state variables and also the user information. So fetch user from our store, and also this from React hook form. Also, okay, so here we have a function called generate account number. Okay, so here we'll generate account number, right? So it should be while the length should be 12, so it should be less than 13, right? So while it's still less than 13, we'll continue to generate using the UID version 4, and we'll remove all alphabets from it, right, and make it only numeric, right? It should be only numbers. I'll just bring it. Okay, great. So we generate a new account number. Okay, and we also have the selected account, right? Which type of account the user want to activate. I am using activate because we have default account. Okay, great. Okay, so here we can have a function to close the form. So function close modal. Okay, so something like this to set is open to false. Okay, that's all. And here we'll also have the cons on submit. Okay, great. It will be an async function. Great. So here, what we are going to do is we're going to have a dialog. Okay, so we have a dialog wrapper already. So I'll just import it. When you go into the wrappers, there is a dialog wrapper, this one, right? So I'll just have to import it. So dialog wrapper, I believe dialog wrapper. Oh, that's not coming. I don't know. Okay, let me import it here. Import dialog. wrapper from, no, it should be dot slash wrapper or wrapper. Okay, slash dialog. Okay, great. I believe it's this one. Is it a default import? Oh, okay, it's a default import. So let me remove this. Oh, okay, great. And inside it, we'll have another the dialog panel. Okay, so the dialog panel will be coming from, it has a lot of classes, that's why I copied. It's coming from headless UI, right? And inside the panel, we'll have the title. We have the dialog title. So the dialog title also from headless, with classes, it act as H3 with these classes, right? Okay, so let's see if we're making progress. So if I click on this, okay, great. So we have it here, add account. Okay, beautiful. Let's continue. Okay, so inside it, we are going to have a form. So after the title, we're going to have a form. Okay, we don't need an action. We need on submit, which will be on submit. Oh, nah, it will be handle, my bad. Handle submit, they will pass our on submit function. Okay, let me also give a little bit of class names. So space of y of 6. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have a div again inside this. Okay, so flex score and gap of 1 and margin bottom of 2. Then we have a span tag, yes, a paragraph tag that says select an account. Okay, so I'll just copy this one, the select options. Great, so select an account. Okay, so select account, we have a select element here, which we are mapping over the various accounts that we have up there, right? And these are all the classes. You can just pause and type it. And whenever we select an account, the selected account, it will be equal to that account. Okay, great. So if we check here, you see now we have this. Very beautiful. Okay, great. So when we select an account, okay, let's bring up a condition. Now, if the account is already created, we don't have to create one again, right? So now the user of information will come with accounts, right? All the account that the user has created. So if the account is created, we are just doing some checks in the front end here. Also at the back end, we check if the user already has that account, right? So if the user has the account selected is created, we want to show this, that's say that account is already created. So I'll import this icon that will give this message that the account is already created. Try another one. Okay, great. So I know cash account is created. So if I select cash account, I don't know which account is created. Cash. Okay, let me reload and see. Okay, if I select cash, okay, I don't think it's working. So let's check out and see if the user, let's console log the user. And let's also check console log the selected account. Okay, great. So I want to believe, let's see. Okay, so we have the selected account, the selected account as cash, and the user account has accounts. Okay, and the account is now, here, right? The account is now. I don't know why. Okay, let me go check from here. I don't know. Let me see. Okay. Let me check from our database and see. So this is our database and this is the account table. Let me script it. View. So the user ID one has an account here. Okay. Okay, so the user ID one does not have an account, but the user two. So which user are we? I guess we are user two. Okay, so the user two does have one account. Okay, which the name is code with test new, and okay, so if I go to profile, okay, so yeah, so that's the account. We have one account, right? That's good here. So why are we not getting the account? Or should I log out and log in again and see? Okay, good. I guess a log out made it work. So now you can see the account. There is a cache account here. Great. Okay, so if we have the account exists, you see, we'll see this message. Unless I select a different account. If I select the cache, you see that this account, yes, already exists. That's great. Okay. Now I can remove this too and go here. Okay. Okay, great. We are here. Okay, so if the account does not exist, what are we going to do is this. Okay, so if the account does not exist, then we need to show the input, right? Okay, so I'll call the input, okay, and pass these fields. So the name will be account name, there'll be a label, this, and the register will also, I'll also spread the register, great here. And I can also put the class name of input star. Yeah, like this. Okay, so if I select a different account, now you can see there's this one, and now the account number also exists. You can also put any account number of choice, right? That is, if you don't want this account number, you can put any account number of your choice. Okay, so I will just duplicate this. And here we have a problem. Now, because we want to return, we should return one component. So I'll wrap this in a fragment, right? Great, like this. Okay, and the next one will be number, will be account name. Sorry, yeah, no, the amount. Great. So the first one is account number. Here will also be type of number, and will be the amount. Okay, great. And the third one will just be a button. So I'll just bring the button that I have. Great. Okay. Great. And the test will be create account. Yeah, whatever test you want to put. Okay, so here I'm gonna have loading set to be, it's either it's loading or loading. Which one? Loading. Okay, great. And sorry, disable. I'm gonna say it's supposed to be disabled. Great, to be loading. And the type will also be submit. Okay. And class name should be bg.violet-700 and a test of white. Okay. A width of full and a margin top of 4. Okay. And let me also do this, that if it's loading, right? If it's loading, it's true. Then I'm going to use the B loader icon, right? Great. Else, then I'll show the test. Okay, so here I'm going to give a class name of test-excel animate spin, and I think that's all. Now let me also give a test of white because of the background color. Okay. Okay, so if I click on this, great, account exists, and we have an error which is coming. Oh, which we can see maybe coming from outlet where reference bottom, it's not defined. Oh, okay. So bottom, the bottom is not defined. Okay, great. So I think it should be defined by now. So this, select this, and now we have this. So if I click here, now validation, I need to put the amount. I can't just send any amount. Okay, so if I put this amount, okay. So now let's go and work on the submit handler. Okay, so as you know, we have been doing that over and over. So I'll just bring it. So I'll just bring a submit handler, right? Okay. Okay, so here we are setting the loading to true, and we are creating a new data, right? By spreading the data and adding the selected account, okay? Whether it's cache or whatever. And let's import this. Okay, then we go to our endpoint account / create and pass the new data. And if it exists, if the information comes out successful, we give a toast message and call the refetch function, which is passed here, right? We pass the refetch function. If an error exists, error, okay, we also show the error here. Okay, great. And I want to believe this function is passed to the form here. Great. So where is the refetch function? Now we are passing a refetch function here. That is the fetch account, right? So the fetch account will be called. That is why we called the loader here. We don't want to be calling, the loading again, right? That's why we place the loader inside the use effect. Okay. Now, if you check, you can see that there's also a key prop here. Now, there will be different key props, right? Yes, I want it to be unique. Now, if you want to forcefully mount the modal again, right? So that when you open the modal and you put in value, you close it and open it again, it will have the old value. So in order to tell React to destroy the old one and make it new, we use different keys, and the key will be time. So it depends on the time you open, it will be new. Then the React will create a new one. That's why. And this one will also have +1. So definitely it will be ahead of this. And this will also have +2, will be ahead of that. Okay. So let's try it and see if we can create an account. Great. So let's try if we can create a crypto account, and I'm just going to put 10 in it. Okay, initial amount is required. Okay, so I guess we have a challenge, and the challenge might perhaps relate to our register function. Great, I set it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I just need to spread it, and that's all. Okay, loading, and let's see. Boom. Well, see, now we have a crypto account created. Great. I told you we are using the same database, and I'm logged into the same account here and the same account there, right? So we also have it here. Okay. So now we've been able to create an account. Let's do this too. Okay. So it follows the same pattern or similitude. So I will just do a lot of copy and paste, right? Great. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. So I'll just bring this one down. Great. And inside the component, I'll paste the one I just copied. Okay, so we are also using the same things, right? Okay. And okay, so we also accept its open, the same thing, and even the ID. And we are importing this from hook form. We also have some state, and there's also a submit handler here, right? Which does the same thing, goes to the account dash add money, then the ID, right? Okay, great. So we are using the wrapper, passing the various information to it, and the title also as add money to account, right? And the form with the handler. Great. And here I'm just going to spread the register function. Okay. And also do okay, so I think that one is just one button, right? Yes, to add the money or top up. Okay, so let's go and see if it will work. And we have an error of import currency function. Okay, add money to account. Okay, I think there is a function that we are not. Okay, yes, this one. Okay, and also I think we import this. Okay, great. And is the bottom also here? Oh, I think I need to make some changes to the bottom. The bottom will be this. Great. And we'll have the test. The test should be like this. Okay. So the test will be submit. Then we pass the amount the user entered, right? Yes. Using the watch function, we'll get the amount, right? Okay. So if the amount exists, then we pass the amount here. If it does not, we'll only show submit. Okay. So here, type of label, loading. Okay. Should be disabled, loading. Okay. And I can even give, I think the variant by default is outline. I don't know, but okay, let's see. What is missing? Format currency lib. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure it's here. Okay, let me try to import it again. Let me try to import this again. Okay, so it's API. Okay. I don't know. Maybe the path is also not correct. So let me try to import it again. Let's hope it works. This. Let me remove all unused imports. Okay, dialog wrapper. Okay, dialog wrapper. Oh, okay, it's supposed to be just /. Okay, great. Oh, my bad. Okay, great. So if I click on, is it add money or something? Yes. Okay, so we have here. I guess I should have changed the button. Okay, so this one should go away. I have this one. Great, which should have a width of full. Okay, so let me cut all of this and remove this one. Okay, then bring it here. Great. So it says that amount is required. So I'm going to add 90 to make it 100. So now you can see that it says that submit, then the currency 100, right? That is beautiful, right? Great. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, great. Submit, then it goes through and it has been updated, right? And also I believe this one should also work right out of the box. Yeah, great. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also buy me a coffee if you find this useful. Okay, so now let's talk about a transfer. The same pattern. So I'll close this and close also this. Now uncomment this, uncomment this. Okay. And I'll just copy paste it, right? Yeah, to avoid time wasting. Okay, great. So here, the dialog wrapper. Yes, this time I believe I know all of them. Okay, so format currency, I've forgotten the path. I've forgotten this one, also the path. Loader. The loader must be just one. Great. And the use store. Okay, so I think I'll import them here to have the correct path. Okay, great. And all of these are there. Also here, we're setting the loader, creating a new variable, and adding the from and the to account IDs, right? Great. So if you watch the backend, you should know that we accept these values. Also import the API. Okay. So here we'll get the account balance. Okay, so we get the set account and the setter, and the value itself, right? So here we'll filter the account. We'll filter the accounts from the account data, because we fetched the account data. Let me toggle this. Let me show you where we're fetching it. Great. So we're fetching the account information from here. So when we fetch the account information, we pass this to the account's data. Okay. So whenever we want to get a particular account, we want to get the balance in it before you can transfer. So we get the setter function and the value itself. So we go to the account, then we'll use the value here to compare and get that particular account information and pass it to set account, right? Okay, great. And this is also a function to close it, and this is a function to fetch all our accounts and its information. Great. And we are using the dialog with the title, and also we have the loader here. I believe it's imported. Okay, here we also have a selector. Okay, great, to show all the accounts that we have that we want to transfer from, and the account we want to transfer to also. Okay, good from here. Okay, I want to believe this also is imported. Okay, here. Okay, so now let's import the input field. Okay, so here, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so this will be the amount we want to transfer, and this is our bottom. Okay, so that one also, I'll copy this and remove this, right? Okay. Okay, so we also import the format currency like we did. Yes, great. And this should be disabled. Great. I believe we should be good now. Okay, let me reload to avoid error. Let me transfer. Okay, so that's not working. Maybe, yes, let's import it here. Save and go see. Oh, okay, it's up already. Okay, so I'm going to transfer from cash to okay, great. So we have an error. I'm going to transfer from this cash to crypto, and we get an error. Let's go see. The error is that bottom is not defined. Okay, so I guess we did not import our bottom. So let's try. See bottom. Okay, imported. My bad. Okay, so from cash to crypto, and the amount is, I'm going to transfer 100 also, and just say transfer, and then the amount will show. Great. Let's see if it goes through. Great. And now it has been transferred. Great job. So now we are done with our account, and we have been able to create an account. If we go to our dashboard, I want to believe the informations are fetched accordingly. Great. So we have incomes and various expense, and we have great job. And also our accounts are here, and this is also mobile responsive, right? So as you can see, very beautiful, right? Great job. Great. So now we have, yes, so we have created, I think, crypto, right? Let's see, is it, yes, crypto. Okay, let me make it big. So now crypto, so yes, we have crypto cash. Now crypto is not showing that it's an account created, but let's say we want to put an account, and let's see if we get, you see that it's an account already exists or created, so you can create it again even if the validation at the front end fails. Now let's go to the last component, then we just deploy our app and finish it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's continue with the transactions page, right? Okay, transactions page. So I can close all of this and go to transactions page. So I hold Alt and just click on it, right? And if the import is correct, it should take you there. Okay. Okay, so here I'm also going to bring the import statements, I mean the state variables. So let me show this. Okay, so I have this using use search params from React router DOM. I have some use states for its open, and various things. And yeah, Okay. So we have we're using the search params, right? The search param here to get the dates, right? And if there be any search value also, we want to get the from and the to date. Okay, great. Okay, so there are also a little bit of functions too. So let me copy them, bring them here. Okay, so let's start from here. Okay, so this function handles when we want to view transaction, right? So we just set the selected transaction and set its open view to true. That's all. This function also fetches the transactions, right? So the URL will be, our endpoint transactions, then the date from and the date to as what queries or parameters. Then if there be any search value, then we attach it as well. So the response that we'll get from this operation, right, will set them to the set data. And if there be any error, we'll console log them as well. Okay. And this also is to handle the search when the user click on search, right? We prevent default and now set the various informations, right? We set the parameters. The search params, then we call the fetch function. Okay, great. And there's also a use effect here. When the form loads, we fetch all the information, and let's also import our loading. Okay, great. So the use effect has a dependency of the start and the end bit. So whenever the date changes, we fetch the information again. Okay, very simple. Okay, so in this also, we're going to have a fragment. Then in the fragment, we'll have a div, which will encompass the other part, and the below will also be of the various pop-up actions, right? Okay, so width of full, and we want to give a pattern top and bottom of 10. Okay, and inside we'll have a div. Okay, so the div will have a flex column on medium, flex row, and the item to center on medium and justify to between, and margin bottom of 10. Okay, so I'm going to bring the title again. Okay, so the title is transactions activities. Okay, and inside we are going to have the date range and the inputs. Okay, so they'll go to the right of the title here. Right of the title. Okay, so we have the date range, right, which is a component we are going to create, and there is also a form for the search, right, which does call the handle search, right? Okay, and inside it is a div with the input container and an icon. Okay, and by the form we have a search button, right? A search button with the add icon, also to add transaction, right? Or add transaction, and we are calling it pay. You can give it a name of choice. And there's also this to export the data to Excel, right? So I think I need to import this export to Excel function. Okay, so let me just import the function here. We install the package, so if you install them correctly, you should have it, right? I believe it's there. If you go to your package.json, I think you will see export to Excel. Yes, ReactJs to Excel. Okay, great. So that will also help us to export all the data to Excel by passing the data that we have, and we are giving it a name of transactions, then attach the various date, right? The selected date range. Let's also import this icon, CI. Okay, let me go up and import. So import this icon from React icons -ci. Great. Okay, that's fine. So I can toggle this, and let's go and see if we have it working. Okay, it's loading. Let's hold on. Okay, there must be an error somewhere. Okay, so it says that the error. Okay. Error okay about the transactions component at transactions. Okay. Reference date. Oh, okay. Okay. So the date range does not exist. So I'll just copy the date range. and place it inside the components here. Okay, so the date range is just, we're using, we just have 7 days ago function, right? Coming from the libs, right? It's also there. We just got getting a 7 days ago function, date, right? Okay, 7 days ago. And we're getting the date range. So we get the 7 days search params. If there be any search params, we get them, right? We format it and get the various dates, right? Use a use effect to get the appropriate dates here, right? And we have an labels and input for to show the various dates, to dates, from, and to. Okay, I guess if you watch the first part, you should be comfortable with that part because I think we did it there. Okay, so let's see transactions. Okay, so we have the various dates here. Great. And if we change the date, you see that the information is fetched again. Okay, then we have also the button to export and the button to pay. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's okay, I think I can just copy this. Yeah, the video is getting long, so I just want to copy and paste it. Okay, so let's go over this, a bit lengthy, but let's try. Okay, so there is a div, right, with overflow of x to auto, right? And we are checking if the data exists, if the data has a length. If the length is 0, we are going to say transactions, no transaction history found, no transactions, no transaction history. Okay, great. No transaction history. Okay, and if it exists, this will be the table. So we have the table, and there's a table header, right? Great. And there's also the table body. So the table body, inside the table body will map over the data that exists, and we have each table row with the various table data in here. Great. So we have the table row. Let me toggle the classes so you can see. We have the row, and we have the data for the date, right? The date of the transaction. We also have this for the description, right? And there's also this one, which is a bit lengthy. Okay, let me bring this one down here so you see it very well. Okay, so inside we have a div, and the div will check if the status is pending. We will show this icon, right, with a color of amber 600, right? And if it is complete, we'll show this icon also of color emerald 600. And if it is rejected, we'll also show this icon with a color of red 600. Then we'll show the status. Okay, great. Then we'll also show the source, right, where it was transferred from, or where the transaction was made from, right? And also this will be this tag will also show the type, whether it is an income or an expense, right? So if it's an income, it will be green. If it's an expense, it will be red. Okay, then we'll also show, right? Okay, so if it's an income, we'll show the plus, and if it's an expense, we'll show minus. That will give the amount. So let me also bring the format currency, then the amount. So yeah, then there's also a button here to handle a transaction if we want to transfer. Great. Sorry, to view the transaction, right? Great. So this is it. Yes, you can take your time and type it out. Okay, so now you can see that we have all the transactions, the date, the description, the status, right, the source, and the information. And now let's go to this one. Okay, so if I change the dates, it should be formatted accordingly. Great. Okay, so if I click here then I can make payments. Then I can also search something by hitting enter, and that thing does not exist. So if I can search for cash, and now you can see all things having cash will just pop up like that. Okay. Yeah, I can search something like transfer, I believe. Let's see, and you see transfers are here. Okay, that's a okay. So now let's click on, if you click on to view, you can see you can view this. So let's work on this. So in here we are going to have the so beneath this, within the fragment, we are going to have this too, where you can add transaction and where you can view. So let's work on this first, right? Okay, so it follows the same pattern like the ones we did. So I'll just copy and paste it inside the components. Okay, paste it here, and this should go one step backward. Okay, great. Okay, so here we also accept the data, the open and close, right? And there's a close function. And here to long date string, we just get the date and just format it to that string, right? Great. And also we get the time from the date, right? Great. So we get a date, we get a time. And we are using the dialog wrapper. There's a title, right? So transaction details. And here we have an icon to the source and the icon, right? Okay, and here is we having the date and the time, right? Okay, sorry, this is the description here, the date and the time. Okay, then we also have a span tag to show the status, right? Yes, whether it is, if it's an income or expense. So if it's an income, it will be green. If it's expense, it will be red. They will show plus or minus, right? Then we also bring the amount, right, by bringing the format currency. And there will also be a button to say, got it, thank you, which will close the modal, right? Great. So we can import it from here. Great. And if we go back, we can now click on this to see. Let's see. Okay, so if I click here, great. So now you can see it's from crypto. Because it's successful, you can see the check, right? And it's cash I received from cash to crypto. And the date information is also here, and it is plus meaning income, and got it here. So if it's minus here, okay, this you can see it's minus. Okay, great. So let's work on this pay, which is also in same format like the ones we did. So I'll copy it. Okay, place it inside the components here, and let's go over it. Okay, so okay, so we are importing all of this. Okay, loading. And okay, then we remove this and the dialog wrapper also here. Okay, so here we also getting the user. We get it's open in the refresh function. We get the user information. We use React hook form, the various states, and the function, right, to which goes to we get the data. We also attach the source account, and we use the post method to perform the transaction, right, by sending it to our backend here, which goes to transaction/add transaction, then the account ID. And if it's successful, we populate the information and call the refresh function. If an error occurs, also we show the error. Okay, and this also will help us get the account information. We've done this again, and this will also help us to fetch the account information. And this is a use effect which will be called once the page load. Okay, so here, there is a select function which you select which account you want to make the transaction from, right? You select the accounts, and these accounts are based on the account that the user has, right? The user has created. Okay, so we map over them. Then the user will select which one he wants to make the transaction from. Okay, great. And if the account balance it's less than or equal to 0, you'll be given an information that you cannot make transaction from this account because you cannot transfer when you have 0 balance. Okay, also here, let's use our import, our input. Okay. Okay, so here will be the description. And this will also be the amount that you want to transfer, right? Great. And here we'll need the bottom. Okay, so okay, and we'll use this same method to get the amount using the watch and the currency format function to render it accordingly. Okay, and this should be disabled. Okay, great. And that's it. Pretty simple. Okay, so let me also import that one here. Okay, great. So we can reload. Okay, click on this and now here. So I need to select an account first. So if I select cash account, then we have an issue which says that I want to believe it's from the bottom. Okay, so the above add transaction component. Input field is not defined. Oh, input field, which input field? What input field? Oh, it's supposed to be input. Input, let's see. Great. Okay, so now here I think we can give some spacing, right? Okay, so between so here okay, so let me put a class here and see. So space y-6. Let's see. Great. So we have here, we selected cash account, which we have 900 in it. So let's say YouTube support CodeWave. Yeah, don't forget to support CodeWave. Okay, and I'm going to transfer 500. You don't have to support me with all your money. Okay, that's just by the way. So say confirm, right? Then I click this and let's see. It goes through, then it is here, right? Okay, let's try again. So cash, now I have no, okay, cash, now I have 400. Let me try, say, another support. And I'm going to put 500 again to see if it will work. Okay, so if I click on this, let's see. Okay, so transaction failed, insufficient account balance. So you can't transfer what you don't have, right? Great. And let's see if also the various dark themes work. Great, it works perfectly. Okay, so let me tell you about the export function, right? So the export, oh, okay, I think I told you the export. Okay, so we are using that React to Excel, right? So you just have to call the function, right? Export to Excel, right? You call it as a function, you pass the data and you pass the name, right? If you don't pass the name, it will give a default name. And that one has been imported from export to Excel. It's somewhere here. Yes, we are using this library. So let's try to see if we can export it. If I click on this export, now you see it has been downloaded into my file. And you can see the date there, right? Great. And it will open like this. Great. Okay. So I pretty believe that we are done. Yeah, okay, let's see. The graph is also here, very nice. And let's see its responsiveness. Okay, so mobile friendly, right? Mobile friendly. Everything is here. Yes, and you can scroll the table, right? You can scroll to the side like this. Okay, here, go to transactions, and everything is also here. Very nice. Great. Great. Right. You can also scroll, view. Great. Got it. Thank you. Here, where again, accounts, it's also here. And settings is also here, where you can change your profile information. Right. So very nice. Like this. Great. Very responsive. Okay. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Right. Okay, so I think, okay, here, so maybe we can do it that on the accounts page. So let me close all the others. On the accounts page, where we're using grade here. So on medium, we can make it 2 instead of 3, right? Let's see. Okay, great. I think this one is 9. Great. You see, this one is 9. Okay, good. Okay, then this and everything works as it ought. So let's check it in its full glory. Let's try to create an account. So test account, test at mts.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, log in. So test at mts.com. Then I'll put the password. Oh, great. I'll put the password of this and see. Okay, great. So here, yes, fresh account. There's nothing in it. There's no transactions. There's no accounts and settings. We can also do it from here. So I create account. Let's see if everything will work as expected. Cash account. There's account number, and I'll put huge money. Okay, I create an account. Let me add amount to it and see this. Great. Let me create another one of paper. I put some amount. Great. Let me transfer from here, from cash to paper. Okay. I transfer 1000 and see. Okay. Great. It went through. Okay. So if I go to transactions, I should see the transactions in here. I can make a transaction from cash, says donation, and it's also 1000 from cash, $1,000. And let's see. Okay. Okay. It's yeah, it's working. Great. Let me refresh and see. Yes, beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here also, then the informations are here. Everything it's here. Okay. So now let's talk about deployment. Okay. So how can we deploy our app? Okay. So to deploy our backend, just click on create new web services, right? And select the repo from your GitHub. Okay. So I have my code pushed here, right? So this is my it's here. So it's called pen expense tracker. So I'll just search for pen, this one, and just click this, right? So here I'll just add dash YouTube. Great. It's node. Yeah, this it should be the same, right? Here I think it's still in the root folder or backend. Okay, there's backend. So the root folder, it's optional. I believe it should be backend. I'm not sure, but let's see. And here it should be npm install, right? Great. Here is also npm. The build command should be npm install to install them, and the start command should be npm node. Is it node index.js? Yes. Let's see. Let's hope so. Okay, and select the free version. It's enough to test your app. And you need to add environment variables, right? So go to your .env, right? Okay, go to your .env and copy your environment variables. Okay, so copy your environment variables. So I'll copy mine and bring them. So just click on add from .env, right? So paste them here. Is this one? Add. Okay, so it has been added, right? Good. So we have the database URL and the JWT, right? And just click on deploy. Which one? It says please use the relative path. Okay, so just / backend. Let's see. Okay, so it's working, deploying, I should say. So let's hope so that it goes through successfully. Okay, so it seems to be working so far. No error. It's deploying. Okay, so build was successful and it is deploying. Okay, let's hope so. Okay, so this will be our URL. So let's copy it. Once it goes successful. Okay, it's successful. Great. So yes, great. Server is running on port. A port number has been given to us, but that is not important. Okay, so here, let's close all of this. Close. Great. So now we can stop our backend server from running from here so that we are fetching from the hosted backend, right? So, okay, so we'll change this here and put this. So change up to the port number, right? So, okay, up to the port number. So it should be the URL /API/v1. Great. And let's go to the front end and see if it's working. It is still working. Okay. This is okay. This is the one. Let's try and see. Does it still work? Let's log out and see. Okay, so test at MTS. Let's see if I remember my password. And great, it's working. So we are in, right? So here, yeah, and we still have all our informations here. Great. So now we are using our hosted account backend. Great. So how do we deploy our front end? Very simple. Okay, we are going to use Netlify. So just do this, and all you have to do is npm run build, npm run build, I believe, run build, and we'll see this file here, or build folder, right? We should see something like that. I think we have is it an error? Okay, so we have a warning somewhere here inside a particular component account page. Okay, account page minus, no, it's supposed to be great. How can we have -0? My bad. Okay, so let's build again. Okay. Yeah, creating a production build. So this, let's see if it's successful. Okay, so okay, let's wait and see. Okay, building, and now it's built. Okay, so let's go to our Netlify. Okay, so there's Netlify, and add new site, manual deployment. Okay, because we're just going to drag and drop it here. That's very simple, the simplest of all. So this, I'm going to bring it here. Okay, so I want to bring it here so you can see. Okay, so this is this file. Just drag and drop it inside. Just drag and drop, and it's online. That's all. Yeah. Okay, so processing is complete, and production deploy. Let's see if it's working. And great, now you can see. So let's have our test at mts.com and our password. Let's see if it will work. Great, great, great. So now we've been able to even fetch all our information. It's working as expected. Okay, so this one, why? Oh, we don't have any information. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. So we get it. So I just changed the date and information here. Search cash and crypto. There's no crypto. PayPal. Yeah, okay. So the search works. Can try and do anything. Okay, so I just say anything. $10, and it goes through. It's here. Great. So that's it. We've come to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you find this information useful, kindly support CodeWave. There's also in the description, there's a main stack version where I use MongoDB. So if you want that, check the link in the description. Thank you for watching. See you.